He is Jody Rainey. He's the principal at the Homer Center High School. He's also the president of the Heritage Conference, and we can ask him to wear both hats today if we really want to. But let's start with Homer Center High School. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Jody, I always tell our school administrators here in these June interviews that you're just kicking back with your feet up on the desk doing nothing, right?
Yeah, right now, so I'm just sitting here drinking a cup of coffee, just waiting for some action.
Just waiting for some action. I love it. Hey, there is a lot to do, though, in a school building in the summer months. And one of the topics that seems to be universal is school security, with the Uvalde shooting still fresh in our minds, with the issues of school security becoming more and more apparent, and with the Safe to Say Something system working so well, but making us aware of just how fragile and how vulnerable some schools could be. Let's talk about security at Homer Center, elementary or high school. I know there are great procedures in place. Are you pretty comfortable that you're everywhere you need to be?
Well, I don't think I'm ever comfortable, but I think one of the things, Todd, that maybe a lot of people don't know is every school district has to appoint a safety and security coordinator for Homer Center School District. That just happens to be me. And it's actually was, I forget what year it is, but it's Act 44, which the safety and security coordinator is required to present in an executive session a safety report annually to the board. As a matter of fact, I just did that with Homer Center's board this past Thursday evening. And so what you do in that is you kind of review kind of the steps that you've taken this year, make sure you've done all your required drills, stuff like that, whatever initiatives that we had implemented this year, be it, door security, be it, just, anything in the vein of security, really. And then you kind of talk and you set some goals as you move forward. So I think it's, that continuous process for us is ongoing, as it would be for every school district. So, I know for us, I think just, what we try to do, Todd, and I think most schools probably follow the same process, is when you take the unfortunate shooting in Texas, as reports start coming out, you start looking at maybe some root causes or procedural things that you can review internally, like for us, Homer Center, and then kind of look at it and say, okay, like one of the things that came out in Texas was that an exterior door was propped open when the shooter was observed outside. A teacher kicked the prop out of the door, and the door looked like it closed. Unfortunately, it did not latch. And that was the access point that the perpetrator used to get in the building. So looking at, matter of fact, right before you called me, that's what I was working on is we have some grant money to continue to install our fobs on our external doors and to dress up any concerns we have with our doors at Homer Center. So that's, something as simple as that meant everything. Or, looking at our safety and security procedures about, everyone is always taught to work and teach behind a locked classroom door. Because somebody who has to work to gain access to your room is probably going to go to the next area. So just looking at those protocols and making them part of our opening meetings with our staff, and just making sure that we're consistent and who's responsible to kind of look over that and make sure that's happening, the communication that happens from that. And then we established a quarterly, basically we're calling it we have school safety committees, but we're looking at it as a security committee. So quarterly we can get together and look at maybe some issues. Might it be behaviorally from students? It might be or from staff, or just facilities, different things that look at our vulnerabilities and try to continually to strengthen them. So there's a lot to do in safety and security. But I think that when you have a tragedy like like that happened in our country in Texas, you're foolish if you don't look back and kind of learn from them and look at those. Even going back and revisiting Parkland and Sandy Hook and Columbine, and those different things that have happened over the course of several years. There's still lessons to be learned there, and especially looking at the reports that kind of indicate some of the things that maybe could have occurred that may have either prevented it or to at least reduce the carnage that occurred. And I think for us, I think that at Homer, we look at safety from three aspects: preventive safety, the response phase of safety and security, and then the recovery phase if something does occur. And so we always want to be, as much as we can be, obviously on the preventative side, but we still need to be practiced and prepared for the response and recovery if need be.
One of the other aspects of the school security and safety equation, I guess, for school administrators has to be when children are outside in playtime or in gym class and things of that nature. And that requires then even more vigilance to protect that whole campus from infiltration, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we're fortunate at Homer Center that years ago the board was very cognizant of the fact that, safety needed to be, just a broader lens of safety and what that looks like and means. So we have safety, and we call our guys safety and security officers, and we're very cognizant of those situations, like having an officer present while, for elementary when our kids are out there. We're having an officer present whenever during our lunch periods and stuff. Just places where there's more mass gatherings, heavier gatherings than just the normal classroom size. And so, and even little things that we do, Todd. In addition, like you said, outside and doing, reverse evacuations and bringing kids from the outside to the inside, those processes are and procedures are in place. But I also think too, like, I'll give our safety and security team at Homer Center is phenomenal. We're fortunate to have some really diverse and great people on our team. And what happens for us, like even if somebody, like a visitor came to our school in the wintertime and slipped on the ice, our safety and security guys go out, take some pictures. They'll try to determine the root cause. Did we put the proper treatment in the ice area? Did we, or was it someone not wearing footwear that had any traction on it, appropriate for the conditions? And we really work really hard trying to figure out this root causes of not only, you look at the bigger events or the more, media-wise events versus just the little things that, like, where are the trip hazards in school, or, how do we store our chemicals in the chem lab? I mean, our safety and security guys are looking at all those things and facets. And, and also we're fortunate that we have Dan Sacco, and most people know Danny in this county, I'm sure, that spent a career in public safety and, is retired from Indiana Regional as the safety and security director up there. We have him on retainer as consultant. Danny is phenomenal. He thinks way outside the box of things that the average person wouldn't even think about, and it only strengthens our efforts and our team.
Just a couple of minutes left with Jody Rainey. We're talking about school security. You, of course, are president of the Heritage Conference and an official with District 6 as well. And so that extracurricular activity discussion takes place, I'm sure, where you're thinking about crowds at football games and things of that nature, and security issues are apparent there, too.
Yeah, they are, Todd. And I know the big conversation right now, I can tell you, at District 6 level and also at the Heritage level, I would even say at the PIAA level, is, spectator, I hate the word, sportsmanship, behavior, conduct. Mm-hmm. That's really been a point of emphasis of, especially, everything from PIAA trickles to District 6, then trickles down to us. But it's, really getting a handle on crowd behavior, the expectations of sportsmanship. how people might even like the other team. Like I always say this, for our school at Humber Center is, we're not perfect by any stretch in this regard, but I want to cheer for our team. I don't want to be saying anything negative to the other team. We should be encouraging everybody, their student athletes. We want all of them to have success. And obviously we want to win the game, but we want them all to have success and a positive experience. And also the adults and our coaches through our administration and everybody. So I think that, that's really a big point of emphasis. And I think that, if we expect and we hold to those standards of expectations, and I think that has a hand in safety overall as well.
Absolutely. It's been a good conversation. We could go on and on, really, when we get to this type of a topic, and I appreciate your time here this morning. I hope you enjoy the summertime, and we'll talk with you again once school gets closer to starting, maybe in the month of August.
Hey, thanks, Todd. And like I said, maybe my coffee's cold now. I need to warm it up a little bit. So
I would have thought it would be a cool drink on a day such as today, but okay.
Well, honestly, Todd, I don't even drink coffee, so I'm looking at a bottle of water. So you're right about that.
All right. Have a great one, Jody. Thanks.
Hey, see you, Todd. Have a good day.
All right. It's the voice of Indiana County. It's WCCS 101.1 FM and AM